All right, today I will be discussing that vaccinating your pets to prevent them from getting nasty, fatal diseases can help lengthen the time that you have with them. My goal is to persuade you guys to protect your pets from certain viruses. Imagine taking your playful puppy to the park one day, only to find them lethargic and coughing a few days later. A vet confirms that it's parvovirus, which is a very deadly disease that could have been prevented by a simple vaccine. Working in the vet field for so long has really opened my eyes to how important pet vaccines really are, and not many people know that. That is why I chose this topic. Within this topic, I'll discuss these 3 different topics. There are multiple deadly diseases your pet can be vaccinated for. Vaccines work by building immunity, and there are 2 different types of vaccines. First, I'll be discussing the scary diseases. Unvaccinated pets are vulnerable to diseases like rabies, parvovirus, feline leukemia, and distemper. These illnesses can spread quickly, and they are expensive to treat, and in many cases, they can turn fatal. Policy Genius does have an amazing article about some of the most deadly diseases in dogs. Unfortunately, most of them I have seen within my experience within the clinics I have worked at. There have been multiple times where an owner has brought a brand new puppy into the clinic, declined the parvo vaccine, and came back a short time later with a very sick and dying puppy. These are the cases that break my heart that I see multiple times a month, unfortunately, that really made me want to persuade you guys to look into these vaccines. The solution is very simple. Vaccinate your pets. Vaccines work by building immunity before your pet is exposed to a disease. The VCA Pet Emergency Hospital does have a really informative article about exactly how pet vaccines work. Vaccines work by stimulating the body's immune system to recognize and fight a particular microorganism such as a virus, bacteria, or other infectious organisms. Once vaccinated, the animal's immune system is then primed and prepared to react to future infection with that microorganism. I have, in my experience, witnessed firsthand how much that these vaccines have really worked. At one time in my career, I had 2 different puppies from the same litter come in from 2 different owners. One of them decided to do the parvo vaccine while the other one did not. The one puppy that did receive the vaccine, we saw come in a few months later to finish out the series of his vaccines. While the other puppy, we did see shortly after the very first visit, but it was for a completely different reason. This is why I recommend calling your veterinarian and making sure that your pet is up to date on all core vaccines, or if you plan on getting a new pet soon, ask your veterinarian about starting the core vaccines. This brings me into discussing the 2 different types of vaccines. There is a difference between core and non-core vaccines. The AAHA really does an amazing job explaining the canine vaccine guidelines. The core vaccines for dogs are rabies, distemper, parvovirus, and leptospirosis. Leptospirosis was just recently added to that list of core vaccines. Lepto is actually a virus that they can transmit to us. They contract it through their paws when they step into a wild animal's urine, and then that's how they get that, and then they can actually transmit it directly to us. Parvovirus and distemper can live in the ground for a very long time, so even if you take your pet to the dog park and there's no active dogs there at that moment, it does not mean, unfortunately, that they could not contract that parvovirus or distemper. The non-core vaccines include Bordetella, flu, and Lyme. These diseases can be very unpleasant for your pet, and the chance of fatality is much lower than the others I listed previously. The Bordetella vaccine protects against kennel cough. This one is highly recommended if your pet's going to the grooming facility, boarding, or really any other place where a dog is and can get close face contact. The flu is also one that we recommend if they're going to like dog shows or anything like that. In Lyme's disease, Lyme, the vaccine We're seeing so many ticks up in this area that we are recommending monthly prevention along with the vaccine because we have seen it work very well and prevent the Lyme's disease. In conclusion, vaccinating your pets is very important to their health. Coming from someone that has witnessed many devastating cases, it is highly recommended to vaccinate your pets for these reasons. There are many deadly diseases your pet can quickly pass away from, but they can be vaccinated against. Vaccines build immunity before your pet is exposed to those diseases. The core vaccines and non-core vaccines are both very, very important. And I hope that after hearing this information from me, that if your pets are not vaccinated, that you highly consider getting them vaccinated.